Hey everybody, Real Simple Mama here with a quick update on what's going on with our coop run. My girls are, well, that girl is crazy and playing in the rain on the porch. These chickens are enjoying fly grubs. I just did a video review. You can see them eating their treat and what that's all about. But what I wanted to show you real quick is we are like 90% done with the coop run, and I'm just going to give you some suggestions if you've got a chicken coop or your chickens have been locked up, or maybe you've got chicks, hey-oh, and you're about ready to move them outside. Just a couple of suggestions. Now, I've got a lot of videos. You can see them on my coop build playlist here on YouTube. I've put playlists by topic. But essentially what you want to do, especially if you're like me and money is an issue and time is an issue, and maybe if, you know, talent or intelligence is an issue, to where you're not, you know, having to rent out like crazy equipment or whatever. So the goal here is you want to give your chickens a portion of your property, part of your yard, but you can't just let them go out through the entire expanse. Maybe your neighbors wouldn't allow it. You know, maybe you have other animals. Maybe you have a garden and plants that you care about, and you don't want your chickens to destroy everything in 10 minutes. Look at my zucchini plants. Yay! Look at that. They've like exploded. Okay, anyway, I'm just excited. So, some of the suggestions that I have for you are, again, go check out that coop build playlist, because I have a few different videos about how to build the run and the things that we did. But we've built these, and these are movable adjustable poles. And you nail them into the ground, which we need to do. You nail them into the ground, and then this piece twists all the way around so you can put this wire in and then lock it. The other big recommendation that I have for you is that you use existing structures. What I mean is, do you have fences or the wall of the coop or something that you can use as part of your boundary? Because the more existing stuff you can use, the less you have to build. That's less money and less time for you. And honestly, unless you feel like building a wooden fence, an existing structure is going to be stronger anyway. So here's what we've done. And we wanted to do this because our birds are kind of driving each other crazy in that small space, and because I want to get more hens, but we need to have more room. So what we did is, here's the existing crazy coop, right? Then there's this, I don't know, 4-foot wide zone back here that doesn't really have much. And then the fence. I don't want my kids playing back here because they just don't need to be back here. I don't want my dogs going back here because they're going to be eating stuff or, you know, doing whatever. So we figured, well, this is pretty much worthless space anyway. It's dead space. Let's give it to the chickens. They can be here under the bushes. They can forage. So they're going to get this whole zone. But by us using the existing structure of the coop and the existing structure of the fence, the only thing we had to build was this short little space here. And this is honestly all existing wire from our last house. So we haven't had to buy anything. The only thing we needed to do here was I cleaned up as much trash as I could, and we'll have another trash collecting party where I give my kids a prize or a treat for going through, and we're going to pick up trash together in case we find candy wrappers or junk back here. But other than that, it's good to go. Another thing I've learned recently is that you can trust your chickens if you have like a plastic weed barrier that's basically like black trash bags. Let's walk around and I'll show you what I mean. Because this property that we're at, we're just renting the house, so we only have a certain amount of control. But you can see like this house everywhere, they have the weed barrier. They put it like at least through half the yard, like it's insane. And so I was thinking, I want to give all this space to my chickens, but oh please God, don't make me have to rip up this weed barrier. So I've asked around on different forums and stuff, and they were like, well, I mean, your chickens are going to scratch it up and destroy it, but you don't need to worry about them eating it. Hallelujah. So the chicken grazing box, I've got videos on that as well, why you might want a grazing box and then how you do it. Their grazing box is ready. These I don't know what my daughter's doing. These wide base leaves, those plants were already there and they're just coming back up after I tilled the ground. The wheatgrass is starting to come up, which is awesome. And then I tilled some of this also, just so my chickens are going to have some green. We've redone our porch, so that's trash that's got to get out of there. But this is going to be the challenge right here. Because what we need to do, what we need to do right here is this is where we're going to cut the door. And then the chickens are going to have all the way back to the fence that's back there. They'll have this zone right here. Here's their garden. This is where I'm going to access. So just like my old run, if you guys remember, I had basically just like a 1x4 or a 2x1, I guess. That was just vertical, and I would grab it to open and close, and it hooked onto the wall. That's what we're going to do here. So this is going to be my access point. And then the chickens can go all through here. Same concept here with the shed and the fence. All the way around that wall to the corner, and then all the way through here to the shed right there. Again, this is more dead space back there behind the shed. Ain't nobody need to be going back there, dogs or kids or anything like that. And then they'll stop right here. And we just went straight across because it's easy. The other things you want to do if you're building a run, and again, check out my other videos because this is just a quick recap for the people who have been asking, but I do go way more into detail in my other videos. You want to make sure that any plant in that area where your chickens are going to have access, first of all, that you don't care about it because there's a chance that your chickens will eat it, but also that it's safe. So you want to make sure you don't have anything from the nightshade family, which includes tomato plants. You don't want to have oleander. You don't want to have a mountain laurel, which usually, I don't have one back here, but it grows like a tree. So it's a bigger type of plant. You just want to go and make sure that there's nothing in there that you don't know about. If you don't know what a plant is, you can take a leaf, and there are certain apps, I don't remember if iNaturalist has plants or not, but you basically take a picture of the leaf and then you scan it through this app and it tells you what it is. Or what I've always done is you take a leaf, you know, and then I write down this leaf was on, you know, in the back behind the shed, which sounds super tacky. But you take a leaf and you take it to your local garden store, you take it to a nursery, you take it to a hardware store, anywhere where they sell plants. And you basically walk up to the person and say, can you tell me what this is? And then what about this? And then what about this? And they'll be able to ID those plants for you. And that way you know for sure. So right now it's what? It's the end of May and we are 90% done. And honestly, since we had those pieces already built, my husband was able to do all of this work in like less than an hour on the weekend. The grazing box took a while because this ground is full of rocks and weed barriers. So that took me like 2 or 3 hours to do, but it's done. It's done. So now the only thing we need to do is the actual access door, which we're going to cut through the hardware cloth there. And we're probably just going to make, and you guys who suggested things on my other video, I really appreciate that for Coop design ideas. We're probably just going to make a flap door that's going to have a hinge at the top, and it's just going to fold up, and we hook it that way, and it'll be right inside this access point. So I essentially am never going to have to go wandering through this area unless my chickens start laying their eggs out here or something crazy. So we just need to clean up, but we don't have to worry about the weed barrier. We need to cut their door and then move one of those cinder blocks or one of these rocks or whatever. And then other than that, we're done. So I'm excited. It's nice and cool here today. We're going to be getting some rain. I'm hoping this weekend maybe we can knock out that coop door and then they can start having some more space. Then the next goal, just so you guys kind of know what's coming, what's on the horizon. Once this is established and we're sure that there's no issues with chickens trying to escape or anything like that. Again, like I said, we're going to have to walk through and make sure there's no trash. We're going to have to go through and be in the mind of a chicken, which shouldn't be too difficult, and make sure like there's one gap over there where I've been throwing rocks. I need to make sure that my chickens can't escape through that. Just make sure that everything looks safe and good. And then we're going to use our, walk with me. We're going to use that quarantine pen or that chick pen over there to hopefully get a few more chickens in the next few months from an egg factory or from somewhere around here. Just some older birds that are, you know, a couple of years old. They're not as efficient when it comes to egg laying anymore, so they're not as valuable. You know, a lot of egg factories and places don't really want to be paying for the food and the maintenance and taking care of a chicken who's not, you know, who's not making them the max amount of money. So once a chicken slows down after about a year and a half old, and they're not laying daily, sometimes they get dumped, sometimes they get sold really cheap. We're talking like $1 per bird, because I can have 8 here, and right now I've got 5. So once we've got more space and I can justify getting a couple more chickens, we want to save a couple more girls. And then you just have to watch my little forest fairy because she's absolutely adorable. Hey, Tiny. Hey, Tiny. What are you doing? What are you doing, my little fairy? I don't know what we're doing. But anyway, that's the Coop Run update. Once we have the door built, I'll show you guys what we did and what we used and all of that kind of stuff, which is basically, you know, how to make a door by cutting through hardware cloth, because that's what we got to do. And then we'll do a video about when the chickens get to go out there for the first time. I'll film that, of course. It's like, you know, watching your child take their first steps or something. Maybe not quite. And then we're also going to be doing some videos about wasps, because the wasps are bad and they're making me insane, and I've decided that I hate them and I can't stand them anymore. So they're building a wasp nest like under the nesting box, so every time you open it, it's like, oh hey, let's get swarmed. So we've got a couple of different strategies that we're going to try, a few different methods. All are chicken safe methods, so there will be more content on Operation FU Wasp, basically. So, but that's the update for the Coop run. I'm so excited. It is going to happen. It's going to happen by the middle of June, I hope. So, but I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama. Thanks for watching the content. Check out the playlists that are new. I've got the content. Oh, we've got to go to the potty. So check out stuff, put questions, suggestions in the comments. Thanks, guys.